My question is, though, about Operation Aegis, which is obviously the government's operational response to the NZYQ decision, and which the AFP is running in conjunction with Border Force and other agencies. Of the 149 former detainees who've been released into the community, how many are currently in custody and how many are free in the community?
Yeah, I will. Thank you for your question, Senator. I will have Acting Deputy Commissioner Nichols answer that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Senator. Grant Nichols, Acting Deputy Commissioner. I'll just get my material ready for you and just acknowledge the comments you made in relation to the cyber sanctions. Thank you. So, in order to answer your question, sir, we're providing support to the ABF-led Task Force Aegis. We're working closely with the ABF and the Department of Home Affairs, as well as state and territory authorities and our law enforcement community nationwide.
I'm reluctant to interrupt, but as the Chair said, I've got very limited time, so it's really just the numbers I'm seeking. Of the 149, how many have been in custody and how many are free in the community?
So I can tell you that as at the 9th of February, we had, or the AFP had 27 reports of crime. I can tell you that they were related to 7 Commonwealth prosecutions, which I can go through with you, 18 state and territory prosecutions, which are matters for my state and territory colleagues. We've got, as at the 9th of February, 1 matter under consideration, and just noting your comment about time being of the essence, I can tell you that of those Commonwealth prosecutions, 7 people have been charged with Migration Act offences. Of those 7 Commonwealth prosecutions, I can tell you that 3 are in custody and 4 are on bail.
Thank you. I just want to drill down on that number a bit more. Of the 7 who've breached their visas, 3 of which are in custody, 4 on bail. Is it true that among those 7 people is at least 1 person who has breached their visa conditions on 2 occasions?
That may be the case, Senator. I just caution that these people are before the court, and these matters will be going through a court process. Yeah,
I won't ask you to name individuals. I'm not even asking at this stage the nature of the offences or where they are or anything like that. But of the 7 visa breaches, has one of them breached the visa conditions twice?
It might be helpful if on the 6th of December, we made a release in relation to 1 who was allegedly failing to comply with the curfew. Bearing in mind, Senator, all these offences for which the AFP are responsible are Migration Act offences. So they're breaches of the provisions of the Act under pursuant to Section 76C1, which is the curfew provisions, which requires these people to be on a curfew between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And I won't go through the substantive section, but there's quite a bit of material in there in terms of what that offence looks like. And just to address your specific question, alleging, so 6th of December, allegedly failing to comply with the curfew, and this person is before the court for allegedly stealing luggage at the Melbourne airport, which was Victoria. So that's 1 count of theft and 1 count of failing to comply with the curfew condition. That breach, as I said, is under Section 76C, bracket 1 end of bracket of the Migration Act, and that offence carries a maximum penalty of 5 years imprisonment or a fine of $93,900. And these offences, I understand, have a minimum incarceration of 12 months upon conviction. We dealt with 1 individual on the 8th of December, allegedly failing to comply with the curfew, and that was 1 count of failing to comply with the curfew condition, again contrary to Section 76C1 of the Migration Act. On the 25th of December, we made a release in relation to, that's a media release, in relation to an offender allegedly failing to comply with his visa, and that was a mandated curfew. That was a Western Australia matter.
I'm just going to pause you there because this is interesting detail, but it actually doesn't go to the question that I asked, and I have limited time. There is a media release on your website on the 30th of January. It is about a man who's described as an Eritrean-born man who's been charged with a visa offence, a range of offences, including failing to comply with curfews, issues with his monitoring device. But also I note that he is alleged to have committed an indictable offence whilst on bail and one count of contravening a condition of bail. Does that mean that this is the person who has potentially breached those visa conditions twice after the first breach was released on bail and then has been charged again with another visa breach?
So,
media release on your website, 30 January 2024, 3:44 p.m. in the afternoon.
okay. I'd have to have a look at the media release to give you a more fulsome answer, but I've got a media release on the 26th of January and one on the 9th of February. So,
well, this is what I'm reading from your website. Man in Victoria charged with alleged visa breach.
If I can possibly help there, my understanding is that three of the 7 that I referred to have been rearrested for subsequent breaches.
Okay.
So
3 of them have
in custody,
breached a visa condition, have been released on bail and have breached a visa condition again.
That's my understanding. And so you've got 3 in custody.
Okay.
So,
and 3 in custody, I note that.
And so now,
Are they
I've
the
just got to
same
be a wee
3?
bit careful here because they may be the same 3 or they may not.
Right. Well, it'd be good if you could come back on notice as to whether or not they're the same 3. In either case, it sounds like a pretty good candidate for preventative detention order. This is someone who would have probably committed at least 3 offences. The original offence that put them in either prison or immigration detention, and then 2 offences of bail, 2 offences of visa conditions, potentially including while they're on bail. Of the 18 people who've been charged with state and territory offences, how many are in custody?
I think that would be a matter that would have to be referred to the state and territory police.
They don't share that information with you?
Well, there's an interagency meeting that occurs every week.
We've heard about this, so I assume that would be the kind of information that would be exchanged.
Yeah, I could take your question on notice and get back to you on that one.
Thank you. Of the 36 people who've been released without tracking devices, without ankle bracelets, have any of those either breached their visa condition or been charged by state or territory police?
I could get back to you on notice on that one.
Don't have that available?
I think to give you the most accurate answer, I think I'd prefer to
Sure,
get back
I just don't want to wait a month for the answer. That's my concern.
It's I think we're dealing with a very dynamic environment here. I mean,
I know, but I'm not looking for future information. I'm looking for current information on what has happened
and I want
to
give you the most accurate answer, Senator, and I think taking it on notice would be the most appropriate way to do that.
Okay. The government released a document yesterday that detailed the alleged offences of the 149 people. It included 7 murderers. Have any of the 7 murderers committed a visa breach or been charged by state and territory police?
There would be another matter I'd have to take on notice.
Don't have that available now?
No.
The reason why I'm asking these questions is that they asked the ABF Commissioner yesterday and he said he didn't know, he would have to take it on notice and I should ask the AFP. So it was my hope that the AFP would come able to answer these questions. You've been helpful with some questions,
yes,
but these are not difficult or complex questions I would have thought.
No, you're right, but I can deal with the matters that are before me in the context of the Commonwealth offending and the
Okay. Well, have any of the 7 murderers breached their visa conditions?
Sorry, Senator?
Have any of the 7 murderers breached their visa conditions?
Not that I'm aware of, but I will take it on notice to give you a more wholesome answer.
Thank you. Of the 37 sex offenders, have any of them breached their visa conditions?
That's another one I'll take on notice.
And could you take on notice if they've been charged with a state or territory offence?
Certainly.
Of the 72 people who have been charged with other violent crimes, including assault and aggravated burglary and kidnapping, have any of them breached their visa conditions?
That's another one I'll take on notice.
And have any of them been charged with a state or federal crime, which I know you'll take on notice? Of the 16 people accused of serious domestic violence, have any of them breached their visa conditions or been charged with a federal or state crime?
Another one that will be taken on notice.
Of the 5 people who have been charged with what is described as an international offence, how many of them have breached their visa conditions or been charged with a state or federal crime?
Again, I can speak to the Commonwealth matters, but not the state and territory. I'll take it on notice and get back to you.
This is your last question, Senator Payne.
Thank you. Can you also provide on notice a breakdown by offence alleged and whether or not they are in custody or in the community?
Is that for the 140? Are you talking the 149, Senator?
Correct.
The whole 149?
Correct.
I'll take it on notice.
Thank you.
Thanks, Senator.
Chair.